19 days until the start of the NBA draft, and things are getting heated. I honestly believe that the Atlanta Hawks have something huge brewing, and I am going to give you guys all the details and what I believe is brewing with the Atlanta Hawks, mainly because there is another report of a potential draft coming up, and I do believe that this time this could actually help the Atlanta Hawks in a positive way. This is actually somewhat a wing from a mid-major school. So yes, I'm going to delve into why I do believe that this actually bodes well for the Atlanta Hawks. Also, I am going to explain a little further in detail as to what I mean by developing the core that we already do have, spawning from last year, how things have actually shown itself to be very good. I also have some I think a tweet or something that I wanted to read out to you guys and explain how things really could have went a totally different direction last season, but unfortunately due to injuries, certain guys being out at key points in the season, it just didn't bode well for the Atlanta Hawks, and now we're in the situation that we're in. Not saying that it's a bad one, but just nonetheless, the Atlanta Hawks are in a situation where they have a good core group of guys and they need to know where to start at, okay? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start today's episode. What's going on, everybody? My name is Walter Pollard. This is Atlanta Hawks Digest. And definitely thank you guys for viewing the content. You know what I mean? Thank you all for, checking myself, me, Chris Tipmore, everybody at Digest Media. Definitely, if you guys have been checking out the NHL Finals, man, the Edmonton Oilers taking on the Florida Panthers, it's pretty dope, so go check out those Digest pages and you'll definitely catch up. Listen, to the 65% of you guys that are not subscribed, that is okay. We still appreciate you guys for watching the content nonetheless. Definitely hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Send this all to, all your friends, everybody, send it to anybody who is a Hawks fan, and just keep up with us as we give you guys more and more content and more information leading up into the draft and into next season. So I am no longer on my soapbox. I'm not, harping on all of this stuff, as far as whether or not the Atlanta Hawks should trade for a win now player, or, I'm not really up in arms about a lot of older players, playing or trying to, get to other teams and whatnot. And these other teams who are desperate to be in position for playoffs or, the finals or the Eastern Conference or whatnot, those teams don't bankrupt themselves. So I'm not on that today, but I am going to talk about this new possible draft update that I did get, and also to just what I want to actually dive into a little bit further, and that's the Atlanta Hawks core. Because the Atlanta Hawks core, when you really look at it, it's something to be excited about. Especially excited for the future. You definitely got all of these young guys, and I do mean young, all of which are in their 20s. And I'm going to give it, run it down to you, because I know Zaccharie Risacher, when he got into when he was drafted to the Atlanta Hawks, I know for a fact that he was 19 years old, now 20. Defensive player of the year candidate, or sixth man of the year. Dyson Daniels, I think he was I think he was sixth man of the year. Dyson Daniels, he's 22 years old. Onyeka Okongwu, 24 years old. Trae Young, 26. Jalen Johnson, 23 years old. So to explain all of this, I do feel as though the Atlanta Hawks do have a core that they want to stick with. No, that I do not feel as though they should get rid of any of these guys, because if you are to go for someone like a Giannis, you would have to give up or break up this potential core. You'd have to take your pick between either one. In the comments, and I think this will be pretty interesting, you guys drop a comment and let me know, if we were to go for a win now player, which one would you go for? Who would you get rid of out of this core? Onyeka Okongwu, Trae Young, Dyson Daniels, Zaccharie Risacher, or Jalen Johnson? Let me know in the comments, and we'll get into a nice little conversation in that. But that would be the guys that we would have to give up in order to do that. But right now, we do have a very solid core that I do feel as though it works. Brad Rowland, you guys know from Locked On Sports, he was asked a question from someone on X the other day, and it was basically saying, with health on their side, do you think the Atlanta Hawks will be in the 6th seed or would have been in the 6th seed? And just to be honest, he spoke candidly and said, I think if Jalen Johnson doesn't get hurt, the Hawks are battling with the Pistons for the number 6 seed. And this is a season in which made future-facing moves, and try to basically get a lot of younger guys in. They weren't expecting to win as much as they could have in 24 and 25. So again, these things are definitely piling up. And then again, you can definitely look at, all of the things that we go through, from prior to this season. Again, Dyson Daniels, you wouldn't want to get rid of that guy. Just being honest, you wouldn't want to get rid of that guy. And then Jalen Johnson, he's also getting himself ready. I mean, it doesn't look like the shoulder is inhibiting him anymore or too much per se. It looks as if his rehab is going pretty good. So again, all of these guys that we have, I want to keep the main thing. And my thing is that the core is definitely something that we want to keep. Youth is good. I feel as though the youth is good. Again, I wouldn't want to bring in somebody that is older to disrupt. And what I mean by that is inserting them into the starting 5. Now, granted, if we get somebody that is of an older nature or elder statesman or somebody who has been in the league for a good amount of time, if they were to come in and be somewhat of an advisory role, somebody that's the coach on the floor, somebody that can take a lot of the young guys, get them under their wing and actually show them how to get going, I can get with that. But from what I've shown you guys, Onyeka Okongwu, like I said, 24 years old. Jalen Johnson, 23. Trae Young, 26. He's the oldest out of Dyson Daniels, who's 22, and Zaccharie Risacher, who's 20. Again, youth is good. We should make sure that this Hawks core stays the same. Now, there is, of course, more to come. Oh, well, we are working the plan. I was just talking about that the other day. But there is more to come. This new projection coming out shows that the Atlanta Hawks would be bringing in, and let me see if I can bring up the graphic now. There's Jalen Johnson. But yeah, actually, it shows that we would bring in Nick Clifford from Colorado State. He's more like a good, he's a wing. He's a nice little, nice wing and whatnot. I know it sounds like I'm talking about actual chicken wings, but he is a stretch wing, 6'6". He's projected to be in the first round. I want to say he shoots about 38% from the 3-point line. And this guy, again, just showing you guys the video, he does seem as if he's a bigger wing, somebody that, it creates a mismatch. If you have a smaller guard on him, or let's say someone that isn't as big or as bulky on the 3 position or whatnot. Also, too, I feel as though he'd be good coming off of the bench to assist Jalen Johnson. Of course, Jalen Johnson is expected to make his return next season. So again, I feel as though he would be a good addition to come off of the bench and help Jalen Johnson in that regard. So this latest projection that we do have, I think this is what we have, the number 11th and number 13 pick. No, number 13 and number 22 pick in this year's draft. So I know we've already stated that there are a couple of players that are, if they're available at the, at that position or at that whatever the Hawks are picking, that they're going to take them. But just showing you guys another stretch wing, somebody that can add some size to the Atlanta Hawks, because that was something that the Hawks were missing last season with this guy. And I'll show you the clip again. He does seem to be bigger, somewhat like a Jalen Johnson kind of build. So again, you get this guy, moving downfield or down court. I mean, not downfield, but get this guy moving. It doesn't seem as if he's easily stoppable. So again, I think this could be a good move for the Atlanta Hawks. I think the Hawks definitely could be moving in the right direction. Again, we already have Mo Gay as one of the bigs on the Atlanta on the team, and definitely Onyeka Okongwu. He's playing center as well. And at some point, Jalen Johnson and Onyeka Okongwu were considered to be the front court of the future. So just adding this young gentleman in definitely adds more youth, more depth to the bench, and hopefully can help the Atlanta Hawks head in the right direction going into next season, possibly into a playoff run, a deep playoff run. Return us back to the 2021 Hawks. Listen, my name is Walter Pollard. This is Atlanta Hawks Digest. Make sure that you guys keep tuned in and definitely stick with us because we got so much more leading up into the draft and into next season. I'm out, guys. Peace.